place.
Now to foreign news. We've seen the situation in Venezuela become increasingly volatile, and it's not been helped by the interference of the United States. We've seen President Trump come out and support the opposition leader, while the president, Mr. Maduro, has been increasingly under siege. Now, joining me now to discuss this is Daniel McAdams from the Ron Paul Institute for Peace and Prosperity. Dr. Adams, what has been the interference, do you think, of the United States, and how much of an impact has it had?
Well, it's ironic that the U.S. has been crippled for the past 2 years over allegations that the Russians somehow interfered with our elections, and you have the United States interfering overtly in the electoral process and the political process of Venezuela, to the extent where President Trump has named a president in Venezuela, has literally named a president in Venezuela that has not gotten a single vote from Venezuelan voters. This is a person who has not been voted for by a single person. That is sort of interference on steroids is what we're seeing.
What has the United States actually proposed to do, and do you think it will happen?
Well, what the United States is doing right now, because the military did not turn against President Maduro as they were hoping they would, we're now talking about absolute, full, complete economic warfare against Venezuela. Venezuela is highly dependent on its oil exports to keep afloat what little economy it does have. And so the U.S. has just declared economic warfare on those oil exports. And of course, there's a symbiotic relationship between oil exported from Venezuela and the production of gasoline, the refinement of the oil, which happens in the United States. So the U.S. intends to take the revenue from that oil, from the refinery of the oil, and send it back to the opposition in Venezuela to help finance them, of course, which they've been doing for 20 years.
Why would the United States want to do this, though? What's really in it for them?
Well, let's be honest, Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. They sit atop an ocean of oil. There's a lot of money to be had for American companies, for well-connected, for politically connected companies. And John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, he's making no bones about it. He said just 2 days ago on Fox News in the U.S., essentially, we're going in there, we're going to send American companies in there, and we're going to take their oil. So it's a pretty blatant grab for oil. And it's the idea of also denying others that oil, denying others the relationship with Venezuela.
Well, it will be interesting to see what's the tipping point in this situation. Thank you so much for joining us. Daniel McAdams there from the Ron Paul Institute for Peace and Prosperity. Now, a group of top US lawmakers tasked